episode 67 of I Know What We Watched Last Week, our horror movie review show here on the Heathen Movie Channel. What a great week, right?
A great week. It was certainly full of joy. Joy and laughter.
Joyous times.
Joy and laughter. But I don't know if... I don't know if any of these can be classed as good movies, especially because the more I was thinking about today's review, the more I realised that I don't really know what any of these movies were about. I have no idea what was going on. I just remember certain bits of each film cracking me up. So, yeah, would you like to introduce the three titles?
Moi. First off, we watched Alone in the Dark by the one and only, one of my favourites, Uwe Boll. And what rhymes...
Not a sentiment we share, by the way.
What rhymes with Alone in the Dark? Mummy Shark. Mummy Shark was what we watched second. It was going to be a different week, but I didn't know what to watch, so I randomly put on, okay, you can't go wrong with Uwe Boll. And then from there, yeah, it was then going to be What Rhymes with Alone in the Dark, Mummy Shark, followed by Ouija Shark. But I thought I didn't want to do two shark movies in a row.
Ouija Shark?
Actually, not Ouija Shark, Ouija Shark 2. Ouija Shark is not available on our streaming, but we do get the second one. But no, instead, I finished it off with Paranormal Island. I'm sure there are quite a few movies probably called Paranormal Island. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange choice of title. They could have gone with something else. But anyway, rankings. Would you like me to do first?
Yeah, let's have you go first.
So in bottom place, pretty much as boring as its title, was Paranormal Island. Then in second place, I guess I'll go...
It's hard, isn't it?
It is hard. It is hard. I guess I'll go Mummy Shark, which means that Uwe Boll did actually take the gold from me this week. Yeah, with Alone in the Dark.
Of course...
Also a strange title, by the way.
Paranormal Island is based on a computer game. So the game is called Alone in the Dark. Okay. And this movie, like most computer game movies, just has nothing to do really with the game.
Well, because before I knew what you just told me, I thought Alone in the Dark, it's not a bad title, but for this film it makes no sense to me. But okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because no one was ever really alone in the dark, were they?
No, it wasn't really about the dark.
It was always groups of people in the dark. No, it's not just about the dark, but the dark and the light, but we'll get to that. My rankings are third place, Paranormal Island. Second place, it almost got promoted to first today after just going through a few clips, but second place for me is Alone in the Dark by Uwe Boll, and I cannot believe it. What rhymes with Alone in the Dark? Number one, Mummy Shark. Mummy Shark, and it is what it says on the tin. It's a shark that's a mummy.
It's hardly even that. I think that's generous.
It's a paper mache shark covered in gauze.
So, starting as we always do with our bottom pick for the week, we've got Paranormal Island.
Paranormal Island, otherwise known as Blarney Island.
Oh, Blarney Island.
Blarney Island.
What a great title.
Yeah, this is Blarney Island, and the Blarney Island, aka Paranormal Island, opens with a voiceover from the one and only Lance Henriksen, and he lets us know that the island is haunted after a card game, right? A game of poker, and it's affected thousands over the years, right? And then we go to 1927 with some gangsters playing cards.
Right.
Yeah.
And we know that this is old-timey because they've put a vignette on the... on the screen, which is great.
And they've captured the time. They've captured the time.
Yeah.
So they're playing cards, and we get straight into it. There's like a more kind of suave suited guy who's clearly a gangster, and there's just some guy from the neighborhood, I suppose, who owns Paranormal Island, and he decides on the next hand, the final hand, he's going to put Paranormal Island up. For grabs.
That's why gambling is dangerous.
Yeah, I think he's kind of coerced into almost, not coerced, but he's... No,
he's desperate to. He's like, I want to play another round. It's like, mate, you've got nothing left. I do, I've got the deeds to my place.
So he suggests it rather than the gang saying, you've got the deeds to the place, so I suggest you play. Okay, so he thinks he's going to win. And so, yeah, they draw cards. By the way, there's like a classic big-chested, floozy hanging around, and the gangster really likes her. She keeps like bending down and giving drinks and stuff like this, and she joins him for the final hand, because like this is 1927. It's reminiscent of Boardwalk Empire with Steve Buscemi. It was that good. And so yeah, so the neighborhood guy with the deed to the island, he puts down his hand, and he thinks he's won.
But we know
he thinks he's won. He's giving it the big, and then he's like, "Oh, you should never have done another hand," to the gangster guy, and the gangster guy's cool, calm, and collecting. He's like, "Well, you shouldn't have spoken too soon, because we all know
were you giving over to me?
a straight beats a flush."
I don't know, because I don't know the rules.
But we don't know that. Now, look, I'm a man who pays attention to details. Right, we're going to find out right now, and also in another movie later on. A straight does not beat a flush unless you're playing 3-card poker, which they are not. They have 5 cards, so it's completely wrong.
So maybe that's the real tragedy. The guy who lost his deed in this false game of poker.
The real tragedy is that the writer or director has put in, let's put in a poker scene and say a straight beats a flush when everyone knows it doesn't. Unless you have 3-card poker.
He then goes off around the corner, offs himself.
Well, hang on.
And really, I haven't finished my thought. He's offed himself because he thinks he's lost everything. But what you're saying is actually he would have won everything back and the other guy's deed. So that's the real tragedy.
That is the real tragedy. That is the real tragedy, but I don't think it's there purposefully. It's just a mistake.
Yeah.
So when the gangster wins, he's like, the drinks are on me. Of course, just won the deed to the Paranormal Island, Blarney Island. And then later on, we see him later on, and he's kind of ordering the big-chested barmaid around, and goes and tells her to go and start the boat. But then out of the darkness, something comes and offs him. And now we're into the present day, or should I say 2014.
Chilling.
And there are 2 teens making out on a jetty, a pier, and they're quickly offed.
Right.
For some reason, I don't know who they are. Don't know why that was put in there. But now we've got
just
teens.
to show that the island is haunted still.
Teens are going to Paranormal Island to tend bar.
What a group we have here. We have my personal favourite, of course, the meathead guy.
Jerry.
For whom everything is like, oh yeah, the whole way through. It's great.
He's charismatic.
Who is your favourite?
He's charismatic. Lance Henriksen.
Which one was that?
The guy that owns the boat who takes them to the island and then warns them.
That's not one of them. That's not. No. Okay, just introduce the group. So we've got meathead guy.
Jerry.
We've got his mate.
The lead guy, Mike.
Who's, got his head screwed on and is going to college and stuff. And he's doing a thesis.
He hasn't really got his head screwed on. For some reason, doesn't go anywhere. But they say that he's already been at college for 5 years, which is 2 years too long, apparently.
Yeah, but he's doing his thesis, which is, for him, the major reason for going to get this summer job on the island, as well as earning some extra dosh. He wants to document proof that the paranormal does not exist. Yeah. And he knows that this is supposed to be like a haunted island. Plus his uncle owns the place.
They're not originally a group together because the 2 guys, Jesse and Mike, are together. Mike, the lead guy, Jesse, the comedic guy. And they're like looking out onto the water and they see a girl, Ivy, on a boat. And they kind of like shine her on a little bit, or she shines them on and says, yeah, come onto my boat. So they go onto her boat.
Well, Meathead Jesse is shining on every single girl he sees.
Why not? You're Jesse. Yeah. So they get onto her boat and there's another girl on there. And also, it's Lance Henriksen's boat. So Lance Henriksen, he's taken them on the boat trip to the Paranormal Island. And then we get
hang on,
trip montage.
Because we're not... You've completely skipped out both of the 2 female...
Ivy and the other one. I don't know her name.
She wasn't just randomly there. She came with the boys.
Oh, she came with the boys. That's a trio, right.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then there's the local girl who, like you said, ushered them onto the boat. Because she also works on the island, and so does Lance. They work there. Very practical.
So now we have a boat trip montage. And the infamous haunted island bar we arrive at. And as they're getting off, Lance Henriksen says to our teens, make sure you leave at closing time. don't stick around because only bad stuff happens here. I feel like I've seen this before.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was really unique.
So they kind of.
Oh, and Jesse also puts in the thing of, what do you mean, man? All the best stuff happens after hours.
Yeah, or maybe not, because as soon as they walk into the Paranormal Island bar, it's a trance party. And when our new bar staff, our foursome, walk in, they are the coolest cats in town. They just walk around like just like own the place.
Well,
walking
actually,
through the kitchen and just like stealing
Boat
food.
Girl does kind of, she's been working there forever, so she kind of is, she's like high-fiving everyone, hey everybody,
working
whoa.
there for the longest time makes you the coolest.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, so now it's a trance party in the bar. The bartenders are here, the coolest in town, right?
By the way, this man-made island jetty thing is gigantic.
Yeah. Ivy mentions to them randomly, you know, we've had a bit of trance, we've had everyone being cool, then Ivy just happens to mention in passing that her mum and her sister are dead. So that's kind of a bummer. They were drowned. She's got a drowned family, and she's vague about the cause. But now it's time to tend bar, and you know it's going to be wild. Lit AF, man.
Yeah, all these youngsters.
Shots are lined up for the newbies. Everyone wants to do a shot except for Mike. He doesn't drink when he's on the job because he's been at college for 5 years. He has to finally graduate, so probably a good idea.
You know, supposed to be the one that we're like, oh, he's going to survive because he's been good.
Yeah.
Definitely not Jesse, because he's snogging some other
all in sundry
worker whilst he's supposed to be working.
And as you mentioned, Mike's cousin is the owner of the bar. But
cousin, right? Yeah.
You know, the DJ is rocking the house now. We get shots of the DJ. He's rocking the house, right? And the devil may care attitude, Jesse, he then like does something which I haven't written down. Then I've written Mike. Mike goes into the dark and he's wandering around in the dark. And out who comes out of the dark? Lance Henriksen. He gives Mike a bit of a questioning. He's like, "What are you doing here?" He says, "Oh, I just need a job." And also some research. And he's like, "Paranormal research?" He's like, "Yeah." And Lance Henriksen is none too pleased about him doing paranormal research. And he warns him off and he says, this whole legend about the caretaker is not real. Just pack up and leave. And Mike's weird response is, "Hey, I've got to get an old dude like you on camera saying the caretaker isn't real." Old dude, this is Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, give him some respect. Honestly, this is when Mike is trying to find the storeroom to get, I guess, more booze or whatever. And we find out just how gigantic this structure is.
Yeah.
I was buying that it was over water, were you? Mm-hmm. Good.
I've already seen them pull up to the bar on the water, so
turns out Lance Henriksen is like the maintenance guy or something. Because I thought at first that the boat girl, might have been related to him and he was just giving her like a lift to work or something. But it turns out he actually works there too. Yeah.
He's a lifer. Great. He must have quite a lot of money. He's got a flash boat. I've noticed, right, at the beginning of this review, I was saying Lance Henriksen, and you kind of like, and now you're calling him Lance.
Yeah, good old
Can
Lance.
you name me one Lance Henriksen movie?
No. Can't believe you put me on the spot like that in front of our viewers.
So after this, Mike bumps into his cousin. And there's a classic line, "Oh, whoa, hey there, cuz."
It's not hot copy, though, is it?
Easy there, cuz. And the girls are behind the bar. Cool guy Jesse is acting cool, He's just being effortlessly hilarious and charming.
There's nothing annoying about him whatsoever.
No, he's effortlessly charming. So they get, after this like shift has been done and the coolest bartenders in town have done their thing and Mike has stayed sober during the whole thing. And I think Jesse's gone off to he's just skipped his duties really as he's going to get off with someone in the freezer or whatever.
Yeah, he's barely done any work.
Yeah. So they get onto the boat after hours. It's already becoming after hours and they've been warned against us by Lance Henriksen, who you know very well. And they're all sitting on the boat and Mike is talking about, the future kind of thing. And he's, this job really works out well for me because I get to earn a little bit of coin, work on my thesis. But then it's time to graduate, get a real job. And Ivy's like, "A real job?" He's like, "Oh, whoa. But yeah, I can't bartend my entire life." Ivy's not best pleased about this.
before you start judging people, maybe you should try to understand them first.
And from there, kind of like Mike just keeps digging himself a bigger hole when he keeps trying to explain himself, just making it worse and worse and worse.
Typical brainiac.
And just when you think he's won the argument, Ivy hits him with, "Yeah, well, my mum and my sister are dead." So that'll
That
show
kind
him.
of does end, any argument. Or, I mean, what can you...
It does end the argument,
unless unless you've got even more deceased family members to apparently use as bragging rights or something, then you're outdone by this. You can't come back with that.
I had a kid that died, so is that how you beat that, maybe? Possibly. I think it's in the mix.
Yeah, I think maybe just leave it, though.
Right.
Just walk away from the argument at that point.
Now, Mike is starting to film his vlog. His vlog proving that the paranormal, in fact, does not exist. He's about debunking
I love it when people film vlogs
the
in
paranormal.
movies.
So when he's filming his vlog of cool guy Jesse walks into frame going, "Ooh," pretend to be a ghost because that's funny. And
that's what my friends would all do.
That's kind of like, I don't really care
Cheeky.
about life, man.
Yeah.
Cool guy being a ghost. And you know what they say when in France? Because if we didn't already know that Jesse was an idiot, we now have him say, you know what they say when in France? Mike's like, "Rome, Jesse." He's like, "No, man, I just said France."
Rome what?
Yeah, classic comedy moment. Now the lights go out and it turns out the power has been shut off from the mainland.
Which means that the dude they were waiting for, I'm guessing Lance,
Lance Henriksen.
Yeah. That was his boat they were waiting on, right? Because that's the boat they came in on.
Yeah.
So he somehow managed to get back to the mainland without his boat and shut off the power to the island.
Well,
so now they gather, well, we must be alone now. Great.
There's a guy also called Andy who pops up from behind the bar in the dark.
That's the DJ.
Is that the DJ?
That was
Andy?
the DJ.
Right, I didn't.
DJ's in the hall.
I didn't recognise him without his, shades and earphones. So
yeah, that was him.
So that's him. Andy, the DJ's behind the bar. He's been like sleeping behind there, I guess. And he's like, "Whoa, what are you guys still doing here? It's after hours."
Yeah.
It's after hours.
And he's also none too pleased about this state of affairs because he clearly also believes in the hauntings.
Yeah. So now Jerry wanders off by himself.
Which is what you would do if you're scared.
And he gets creeped out by something in a tunnel. And he comes back. And now they all want to leave. But there's no boat. There's no phone lines. There's no mobile service. So they are stranded on paranormal/Blarney Island.
Yeah.
Jerry just wants to drink again. He's like, "We're stuck here. We've got a free bar. Let's just live it up and booze." And one of the girls, the girl that's not Ivy, isn't very pleased with Jerry's attitude. She's like, "I just want to get off the island."
Yeah, that was it. She saw something like her...
It's one hell of a first day at work.
Her deceased sister's spirit or something, or she thinks she's seen someone dead in the water. I don't know. So she's freaked out and Jesse's like, "Come on, let's get crunk." And she's like, "No, I just want to get home." But yeah, I mean, Jesse is a bloody nightmare. When he's on shift, he's in the back room making out with another worker, so 2 people aren't working. Then he's just drinking himself happy for free on all of the, booze supply. This guy has guts to go.
That is kind of what you do when you're 18 and you've got a job, though.
I didn't. I was good. I did my job.
Back at the bar, Mike is filming again because a beer bottle has moved itself. A beer bottle has moved itself, and they're like, "Hello? Who's there?" And then a sound like a grumbling tummy comes out of the dark. I was like, "Oh, that's
Are you sure that wasn't
supposed to
just
be
me?
That's supposed to be a ghost, but
Was
it's just
that the
that."
movie?
So now they're back on the pier. Wendy turns out to be the other girl's name. She now swims for a wooden boat.
Oh, is
like,
it
the middle
Wendy
of the
that
lake.
swims?
Swims
Because
for a
DJ
boat.
kept being like, "I can swim for it, I can make it." Oh yeah, to land, that was it. But it's like way far. And yeah, then this boat
Yeah, because the
comes.
boat trip took ages to get to Paranormal Island, didn't it?
It took like 3 days from the
Yeah,
looks of it.
that's why you can have a montage and all that
And I
kind of
was like,
stuff.
why are people partying in this island that you can't stay at overnight and it takes like 3 days to get here? But then, oh wait, no, there's a shoreline right there.
Wendy does
Right.
make it to the boat and she stands up and starts celebrating, but then all of a sudden, by an unseen force, she is yanked off the boat and like her neck is snapped.
Yeah,
Something like
whilst
that.
someone from the pier was like, "It's a trap."
Yeah.
Don't."
There's obviously then panic on the pier where the rest of our guys are.
Panic on the pier.
And the girl,
like a
Ivy, is
Scooby-Doo
talking
episode.
to her dead sister who says the caretaker is coming. So, of course, they lock themselves in the bar. They start freaking out. And like, "This is not real. This is not real. It is real. You better start vlogging about it and get numbers in. So now there's a ghost blur also stalking them. It's a ghost blur.
Yeah. Can't you see it? I was like, no.
Were you impressed with the ghost blur?
As impressed with that as I was with the rest of this film.
Is the ghost blur reminiscent of a movie that would cost $1 million?
Don't tell me that was the budget. No.
This is $1 million movie.
Oh, Lord.
You've got to imagine that about 950,000 went to Lance Henriksen.
That's unacceptable. That is completely unacceptable.
After Wendy's at it, Jerry now makes a swim for the boat. And he gets on it. And he decides he's going to go for help.
Yeah, he actually makes it.
While he goes for help, we got Mike and Ivy left on Paranormal Island, and they decide to kind of just tour, have a look around the rest of the premises, and they come around a part of the Paranormal Island where the caretaker, it was his digs when he was working there. And it's like, why would you walk into there? Meanwhile, party boy Jesse, he's arrived at the other side.
You just said Jesse. I swear you saying Jerry.
Jerry Jesse.
Is it Jerry
His
or
name's
Jesse?
Jerry. His name's definitely Jerry.
I swear I was calling him Jesse.
And then he comes to the other side of the island, and then, guess what? There's a party going on there as well. It's a party vibe. Even though there's a cop there, he's now ruining the cop's party vibe, saying you've got to come to Paranormal Island
This
because
isn't having fever, Johnny.
Stuff is going down. So the cop takes Jerry outside, and he starts to handcuff him to the boat, and he takes him back under duress to Paranormal Island.
Yeah, I mean, I guess obviously the cop doesn't believe what Jesse Jerry is saying, that there's some kind of spirit, and he's like, oh, if there's just another prank or whatever. But it does seem quite extreme to handcuff him to the boat. I mean, what's he gonna do?
Jerry then gets to show off his chops when he's really unhappy about being handcuffed to the boat. So, he's dragged back to Paranormal Island with the cop. And he's kind of like left on the boat by the cop. And the cop decides to walk around like talking to himself. Anybody's here, this is law enforcement. Like in the dark and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Then he must be quickly...
Yeah, he doesn't make it. Obviously.
No, he doesn't make it. He's taken out.
And
Jerry's managed to cut the boat loose. But that means that Mike and Fingerbob are stranded. But luckily, Jesse comes back around with the boat. Jesse. I just said Jesse again.
Yes!
Jerry comes back around with the boat. So
call him Meathead.
You only have to worry about 30 seconds.
Yeah, so the thing about this spirit, the caretaker, he's very, human. Because if you hide under the pier... If you duck down in the boat, if you close the door, you're safe, which is really practical.
Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the movie, because then Lance Henriksen shows up on his boat, and all they have to do is jump into the water and swim to the safety of Lance Henriksen. It's not as easy as it sounds, because Lance grabs Ivy's hand and she kind of slips under. So of course Mike dives in and saves her. Mm-hmm. Then they all go home, and Ivy gets to see her sister running around the pier, very happy. So that makes Ivy happy. She's like, haha, my sister is at peace. I'm going to go back to my regular life now. And regular life is pretty much Lance Henriksen sitting in the bar. Meanwhile, a cop is talking to the cousin, Mike's cousin, about last night. And he says he hasn't noticed anything. But if he does notice anything, he'll be sure to let the cop know. That was important, remember? And Lance is in the bar watching a TV. He sees news about Paranormal Island and he quips, "A mile from reality." Finn.
Can you hear the movie?
I can hear the cat snoring, yeah.
It's been so distracting. So loud. Okay.
Finn.
Yeah.
What did you make about that last piece of dialogue from Lance Henriksen? A mile from reality. What did that mean in the context of the movie?
I don't know. I wasn't sure if they were suggesting that he's kind of dropping them off to fall foul of this spirit, because doesn't he say something about perfect victims or something like that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know, you don't know, we don't know. So maybe
this movie is instantly
we should move on.
Forgettable. It's horrible, but I want you to hear about the $1 million budget and what do you think about this being $1 million film?
It's like I said, it's just unbelievable. I don't know where that money went. On
Lance.
all the extras.
It went on
well,
Lance Henriksen.
Partying. Maybe all the booze that Jesse was drinking. I don't know. But yeah, that's shocking.
Yeah. So that's the end of that one. That was a pretty poor film. Mm-hmm. Luckily, though, it gets a lot better from here. We're going to go with your number 2, What Rhymes with Alone in the Dark? Mummy Shark. Mummy Shark does exactly what it says on the tin.
This film...
Are you glad I picked this film?
This film had me laughing harder than anything has in a long time at certain points. The reason it didn't come first for me, though, is because the last, 20 minutes or so weren't even funny anymore. I was just bored. I was like, is this film almost done? Because all the humour that's to be had out of it has already been wrung out.
I've got video evidence of you still cracking up in the last 20 minutes, so that's a flat out lie. Yeah, that's the whole reason it was number one for me, because you think about it, anything that Hollywood producing and they put out as a comedy, I don't know, the last 15 years or something, play any one of those next to Mummy Shark and you will laugh way harder at Mummy Shark than anything considered to be a comedy.
Yes, the difference being Mummy Shark was not intended to be funny.
No, but it doesn't take away from the fact that we were both bowled over in almost pain laughing at this film.
Yeah. Okay,
when it's funnier than an Uwe Boll film, you know it's good.
I'm assuming the budget for this was not $1 million.
I didn't see, but I wouldn't be surprised.
No way.
Yeah, Mummy Shark. We open with a white Arab. Remember the white Arab in a tent? And he's calling... By the way, the white Arab is kind of like Lord Raiden, because he's made of electric. You know, Lord Raiden from Mortal Kombat, Christopher Lambert. There is only one movie, Lord Raiden, that's Christopher Lambert from the 1995 Paul W.S. Anderson movie, Mortal Kombat. Alright, so this white Arab dude is exactly like Lord Raiden, because he's made of electric and he can teleport everywhere. I'm not sure if he can shoot electric bolts at people, possibly, but maybe that wasn't discovered. But he's talking, he's bringing forth the shark god Karis, which is said Mummy Shark, and he has a guy.
Name.
He has a guy there who's
Karis.
He's there being kidnapped. Who he's talking to, and he's threatening him with Mummy Shark. He's like, you Westerners hide behind your science and logic, but we have the gods. And then it's kind of like an electrocution kind of happens.
This was
and
filmed
the white
under
Arab,
someone's bedsheet.
The white Arab reveals the Mummy Shark, and there's some then Egyptian techno to take us in to the movie. Egyptian techno. That was good.
Have we seen the shark yet?
Yeah, the shark does show up at the beginning, but we don't get to see all of the shark at the beginning.
Shark, by the way, I think they might have used more than one. There's one that looks like a plastic shark.
Well, maybe they did have
toy,
a budget then.
And then one that looks like a little paper mache one, like you mentioned.
There is a plastic one,
actually,
isn't there?
And they're about this big.
Yeah.
And so they'll film it just walking around.
Walking?
Like that, yeah.
Oh, the cameraman walking.
Cameraman's walking, holding the shark up to the lens.
I mean, I'll say that the shark doesn't walk in this movie.
Because the shark is in...
But he can float mid-air.
Mid-air.
Yeah. So we're introduced, we got... I'll call her like Velma Lady, because she's kind of like a Velma Dinkley
what an
type.
Insult.
Yeah, I think her name is Dr. Sandoval. We've got Dr. Sandoval. Then I've got the Professor Paddington Bear, because he's wearing like a Paddington Bear hat all throughout the movie. And we've got the Burger Man, Jesse. No, Reese. I'm saying Jesse for every single one.
Yeah, this movie has a weird burger
Reese the
obsession.
Burger Man, and I think her name is Mia. Mia the Vegan.
Right.
Yeah, that's our four.
I remember the Velma and the Paddington Bear guy the best.
And they're excavating, and they're looking to find, or they have discovered the biggest find ever under the pyramids of Giza, the Great Pyramid of Giza. And did you enjoy how there was lots of exterior shots of the pyramid and the Sphinx?
I also really enjoyed what they did with the colourings of it every now and then, just putting like some colorama effect over it, so you're just a bit confused. I think this film also blended a really weird amount of like CGI AI imaging amidst the back garden shot film.
I thought you were going to say it blended a perfect match of comedy and horror.
No, that's not what I was saying.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, we've got Professor Paddington Bear, Dr. Sandoval, Reese, who's Special Ops Reese. He works, he says, for like an alphabet company, 3 letters from the alphabet, FBI, CIA, but he can't tell us what it actually is, so you know he's legit, right? So that's Reese. And then, yeah, like I say, Vegan Woman. And Sandoval and Reese are sitting down having a burger because Reese has this thing about walking into frame and just offering people burgers.
Have a burger. I'm not hungry. Have a burger. Okay.
Yeah. Have a burger. It always cheers me up, and I'm sure it will cheer you up. That's the kind of thing that we're getting. So they're having a burger, and all of a sudden, like Mia, I'm just going to call her Mia. Mia the vegan shows up. She's an older lady compared to the rest of the crew. And Reese introduces her as like, that's just Mia, our resident vegan. She eats tofus and sprouts and shit like that. And then all of a sudden, like, Sandoval's like, and Mia says, what do you got against vegans? So it's a tour de force performance all around. We haven't even got to the best performance yet. But what are you making of it so far?
Sandoval was just painful. Paddington Bear Guy was so awful that it was funny. But my absolute favourite thing about this entire
What about the
film,
vegan?
I honestly can't remember her whatsoever.
You can't remember her? Mm. What do you got against vegans? And from there, her performance
Is she even in the
just
movie?
goes completely off the rails.
I have no idea.
Of course she's right. I'm not going to have to fill you in about Mia the vegan and her journey through Mummy Shark.
My overriding memory, as I was saying, if you'll get off Mia for a second, was basically those two people, Paddington and Velma,
Professor
sat
Paddington
in a bunch of trees with some camouflage leaf put up against this person's back garden wall or fence or whatever, and then people running and walking through this jungle on a deserted island where they've ended up, with the same starring tree in every shot. That was the funniest thing I've seen.
When I watched this for a second time,
in a very long time,
I noticed that the whole plant thing doesn't come until maybe about halfway through the movie. Once the plant appears in the movie, I decided I was going to try and count the amount of times that I saw the plant in different shots. And I got to about 37, so it's in at least 37 shots. And then there's a point towards the end where they're walking through the jungle, and the plant is in literally every shot. I had to give up then. I think the plant might have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
That's what I was saying it should be. It's got to get that, because it really brings everything together. So this film, you can tell the quality level we've got here.
It's top notch.
If they've done this with zero budget, then
this is my number one film.
They have genuinely gone into somebody's back garden from their cast and crew, bought a few little trees.
You work with what you got.
And then just rearrange them slightly for different shots.
The director of this movie is either Mike or Mark Polonia. He directs like 11 to 12 movies a year. So he just knocks them out monthly. You wouldn't be able to tell though. So there's Shark God Karis. He comes from the sea, obviously, because he's a shark. But our four, or at least three of our four, being informed by Professor Paddington that humans were engineered by intergalactic space sharks.
That's why this shark can just float through the air in the jungle.
And they're down there in the Great Pyramid of Giza, and they found the sarcophagus.
The sarcophagus.
Which the plank of wood with two sharks etched into it. Now they're on helicopters.
It's also a CGI bit in the background at some point.
They need to take the sarcophagus from whence it lay to new beginnings. So they get some helicopters.
This film is so good.
They get some helicopters. And they attach some rope to the sarcophagus and fly over the desert. And we've got Professor Paddington Bear and Dr. Sandoval are in a fighter jet. They're in a fighter jet or a helicopter. And what happens is there's a bit of an explosion. So accidentally, like, our guys have caused what Sandoval says to Paddington, please don't tell me we just started an international incident. There will be hell to pay. Is the performance of Paddington Professor, right? So they're now.
But the funny thing about the helicopter, you haven't even mentioned
there
why
will be hell to pay.
Funny, and it's got nothing to do with the actors. It's the effects they've got. Like
the effects are incredibly funny. Yeah, I think
do you know what? Actually, I can't even explain it. You just got to watch it.
Yeah, you could never do it justice.
Can't explain.
I do have a screenshot of the helicopter carrying the sarcophagus, so we could probably pop that up. Yeah. So then when Sandoval has been informed by Professor Paddington
that there will be
hell to pay, she's then concerned that Egypt is going to threaten war. Right? So then Paddington says, it's politics 101. Surely you understand. This guy, this is a tour de force performance.
Also,
tour de force performance.
the reason that you probably say that the starring tree is only like from sort of halfway onwards is because that's when, you know, Sandoval and Paddington Guy land on this, or crash onto this jungle island. They have no idea where they are. Luckily, they're in someone's back garden. So
yeah, we haven't gone back to the white Arab dude who's made of electric yet. I'm just going to call him Lord Raiden for now. So Lord Raiden, like, we get a shot on him now, and he's looking into this, like, magic, like, it's like a crystal ball or something that he has. And he's looking into it, and you can see Professor Paddington and Sandoval and Reese and Mia all milling about. And he's like, you cannot hide from the eyes of shark god Karis. And then he electrics himself, and he turns into a raven or a crow.
yeah.
Yeah?
I'm really confused.
But does Lord Raiden indeed turn himself into a crow?
He does.
Right, he goes electric, then he's a crow. Because you cannot hide from the eyes.
You cannot hide
of
from the
shark
eyes.
god Karis. Right, so Raiden's a crow now. And now we get the director of the movie, the one and only Mr. Polonia, and he's stirring a pot.
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord. The stirring the pot thing. Again, we have a scene where I don't remember what was being said or done, because all I could think of was the fact that the actor was stirring this pot, and they had overlaid sound of stirring, which is clearly someone like whisking. So I just saw like this slow ass pot stirring and hearing whisking. And then they do a nice little sound bit when he stops stirring to hand her some tea leaves.
Yeah.
Like, puts it down and he like clink.
What's happening in this scene is Mia's come up to the counter while he's stirring this food.
Oh, vegan Mia. Oh, yeah.
She's asking about vegan supplies and all that, and he's like, beats me.
No, she's like, oh, do you have any tea? And he's like, oh, well, actually, I've got these dried leaves. And she's like, what are they? Beats me.
Yeah.
So you're just going to take some leaves of completely unknown origin.
Well, no, it's not unknown origin. He got it from a vendor in Cairo. So
but he
that
doesn't know what it is.
No, he doesn't know what it is, but he got it from a vendor in Cairo. Yeah, so she gets her tea.
So she drinks this tea while she's having a conversation with Sandoval,
the director of the movie. Oh, now you're in the tent, you mean, with Sandoval, right, okay.
She's having the tea. She's not just picking up these random leaves. She's having the tea. And apparently, this tea, the leaves, the vendor, are Crow Man. What did you call him?
Lord Raiden.
Okay. So we've both just dubbed him something that's actually not right. But Crow Man has, like, sent these leaves.
Well, before that, I was calling him the White Arab. So, take your pick.
Yeah, plus also, when we say White Arab, like, this guy kind of... I wouldn't have been surprised if I saw him, like, at a MAGA rally.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So, anyway, going back to the tea drinking, this tea apparently means that this woman now, Mia... is under like some sort of trance influence thing, and the next time we see Mia, she's gotten up out of her tent and she's gone to join Crow Man.
While she's in the tent with Sandoval's now informing Mia about, you know, human civilization being engineered by intergalactic space sharks, and then Mia's like, yeah, I can well believe that because it's no crazier than the stories they tell you in Sunday school, right? So yeah, she's got quite a good backup there. And by the way, the guy who gives the cook who gives her the tea, he's called Cookie. So Cookie the cook because he cooks. Get it?
Yeah. I also loved how seamless it looked to have a bar in the middle of this random jungle island.
There's also there's like talk about you have no idea how much technology the sharks might have because when they were building the pyramids and stuff, we were still using spears. All right, so imagine that the sharks have already got technology to build pyramids and the Sphinx. We're still just spearing about.
It's incredible.
Right? And then there's a random shot of what I believe is a shark god, an intergalactic shark god, walking around in an orange prison jumpsuit on a spaceship.
Like I said, none of these films really made much sense to me.
No, you kind of fast forwarded a bit to say that obviously now Mia, the vegan, has tasted the tea. And
that brew.
When we've seen her sip the brew, the action goes back to Lord Raiden, right?
Crowman,
MAGA Arab.
And he's in a cave which has a water supply. And I'm pretty sure at some point in this under cave lagoon thing, we've seen Karis splashing about.
Yeah, we have seen him splash about.
And Crowman is brought.
No, hang on. You're not doing it right. Yeah, you're missing out very key moments. So as I was saying, we now cut to Lord Raiden, the MAGA Arab, and he's looking into his crystal ball, and he can see that Mia has now drunk the tea, and he says, "Ah, you have tasted the Tanner leaves. Now we avenge our master. Come, sister. We have work to do." And it's at that point that she starts to crawl out of the tent. So she's crawling out of the tent while Sandoval sleeps next to her. And then it goes back to Lord Raiden. He's like, "We shall establish the second coming of our Lord Karis." And then Lord Raiden puts tea into his cauldron. There's more stirring. And all of a sudden the vegan just shows up. It's like, she's made it. She's crawled out the tent and she's already there. And she's had to walk past said plant, which you talked about, and now said plant is like behind.
And do you know
Lord Raiden
why she's been brought to this cave?
Well, hang on again before you read that. Now she's drank this tea. The vegan just looks absolutely mental. She's walking around like.
Well, she's in a trance.
She's definitely in a trance. I should also mention that Lord Raiden, he has like an assistant who's got a towel wrapped around his head.
Oh yeah,
right. So
that was it. I was like,
there.
how the hell did he get to the island? Because Lord Raiden turned himself into a crow to fly there.
Yeah,
and then he lands and turns back into a human, and then this other dude is just there as well.
Yeah. So now that he's got Mia the vegan with him next to him, he decides, right, now Mia's here, I can walk off into the forest/jungle, and he comes across a workman's ladder in the woods.
I swear by now we know why Mia's there. Have you skipped it now?
No, I haven't skipped it at all, I don't think.
Right.
No.
Okay.
I've not skipped it.
Who's in the woods? What?
He comes to a workman's ladder in the woods, right?
Because
Lord
that's
Raiden.
just going to be there on a
And
deserted
it
island.
literally is like a ladder, a medium-sized ladder from B&Q. It's still got all the stickers on the side of it and things like that. And he's put the ladder up against the side of a wall of hieroglyphics. And he climbs up the ladder.
That's the sarcophagus, isn't it?
No, I don't think that one was a shark. Sarcophagus just has 2 sharks on it. This one had loads of different hieroglyphics. So he sets down his workman's ladder in the jungle. He climbs it. It's probably like 2 feet off the ground or something. And he looks out into the distance and he's like, "Your servant is here, Karis. I will vanquish these thieves." And then he does a spell, and when we get our next glimpse of the mummy shark, he's swimming going,
Yeah, this shark laughs.
"Yeah, I will
Builds
vanquish
pyramids.
these thieves." And then he falls off the ladder. And he gets up and he says, "Mina the vegan is to be your bride." So he's awoken the shark god
Thousands
Karis
years of slumber.
to get with this OAP,
And now you got
who's in a trance.
trancy vegan meat.
Yeah, and it's now that Mina and Lord Raiden, they go off and wait into a cave until the master, can be called. Right, so now Mina's off with Lord Raiden. So we've got the other remaining 3.
You're doing the name thing again. Now you're saying Mina. I swear you were saying Mia.
Mia, yeah.
Jesse,
Either
Jerry.
one. Jesse, Jerry, Mia.
Good luck.
So Mia the vegan.
Yeah.
And Lord Raiden, they're hiding out. They're hiding out
Crowman.
into a cave until they can call out to Lord Karis again. Meanwhile, the remaining 3 are in the jungle gathering supplies. Remember that?
They go foraging. And at one point, I'm pretty sure it's Sandoval. It doesn't really matter, but whoever owns this house, who I'm assuming is like one of their mums or something, must be a bit annoyed because you just have like creepers and vines, and she's like, "Oh, I'll have a leaf off of that.
You saying it's inconsiderate?
Yeah.
Once,
And also, if something's edible, you don't just take one leaf and then move on. You take the whole damn thing.
there's a part where
She doesn't know what she's
they've
doing.
gathered the supplies, and Sandoval, so you say she's only been picking leaves, whatever. So she's sitting on a bench. She's like, "Oh, I'm so thirsty." Then from off screen, Jesse just goes and hands her a bottle of water, to which she drinks. She's like, "Oh my god, I hope you guys aren't as thirsty as I am."
We are.
Yeah, we are. But then the professor's like, "Don't worry about water too much, because we can survive on measured amounts of seawater."
Bet you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that until now. And the special agent guy, Reese, he now starts wandering around the jungle, and it's now...
He's looking for water.
He passes the plant. No, he's already brought the water back. He's going to get more water, but he's passing the plant at every turn. He's going past this one. So now Arab Lord Raiden and Mina are back in the cave, and all of a sudden it's time now to conjure Karis. They've waited for Karis. And
the wedding night.
Here he is, and as he's arriving, Lord Raiden says, "Yes, Karis, this is your bride." And Mina's like... And all of a sudden, Lord Karis lets out like a really angry sound. Like, he's like, "This is my bride. You've woken me up after thousands of years to bring me Mina the vegan." Mia the vegan. Yeah, and so now he's come along, and at this point again, Lord Raiden looks into his crystal ball, and he's looking at Paddington and Sandoval and Reese in the jungle, and he says, "You have escaped the wrath of Karis, but not for long. You thieves shall be vanquished."
We've had those
de resistance.
Nice, split screen things of the pyramids coming on and off throughout this as well.
You know that we've seen Karis the shark god a few times now, and he mentioned he's kind of like a rubber/plastic thing, yeah, like that. And he's also a paper mache with some bandages thrown over him. I've got to say that the poster's quite misleading to this film, because there's a giant shark, a real shark, like a great white, coming out of the pyramid. This is not a great white shark.
With some bandages flopping off him.
Yeah, the front cover is misleading. So now the professor is in the jungle with Sandoval while Reese has gone off to get more water. And he says, "Did I ever tell you about the time I saw a shaman turned into a snake in New Guinea?" Do you remember that?
No.
No?
I think we're at the point already where I've started to lose interest.
Right, so now that Lord Raiden has warned that these thieves will be vanquished, we see him again, and now Lord Raiden's keeping an eye on Lord Karis as he makes his way through the sea to the jungle, and he says, "Karis, now you feast on fish. Soon you will feast on these thieves."
Well, they've got his sarcophagus.
Then we're back in the jungle. And Sandoval asked Professor Paddington a very pertinent question. Is it possible that the sharks came through a portal? Is that how they got here? And Professor Paddington's like, "That's a great idea. You really could be onto something." Is she onto something? Because we were previously explained how the sharks got here. Because they had some kind of spaceship or something, right? Because that's what the...
Is that the orange jumpsuit?
That's what the orange jumpsuit thing was on. He was manning a spaceship.
Was it a shark?
Yeah, it was. No, it was an alien shark. So not shark as we know it. This is a different type of shark which stands on two legs and has kind of flubbery things in front of its mouth. Right. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. After he says she could be onto something, Reese arrives. He's like, "Anybody thirsty?" Because he's got more water.
And then Sandoval downs it all again, doesn't she?
Now, like the CIA or whatever, because Egypt are threatening war, they now made it to Egypt, and they've all of a sudden seen Mummy Shark. They've like got a target. They've got a target on Mummy Shark through their weapons. They're like, "What the hell is that thing?" Yeah. So now they're about to shoot at Mummy Shark, but Mummy Shark takes them all down.
Your Mummy Shark just comes flying into the air, takes them out.
There's a jet attack, and once Mummy Shark is like, and he's taken out, we then go back to Lord Raiden, who's still looking into his magic ball. He's looking at the action, and he says to Mia, "Our master hath destroyed the flying machines." The flying machines. Right, then it's time for Lord Raiden to go through the jungle again. And at this point, Professor is sitting with Reed. Reed wants to go off yet again, and Professor says to him, "Don't go too far. We can't afford to lose you too." Now, about half an hour previous to this, Reese had wandered off on one of his jaunts.
Right.
And Professor said to him at that point as well, "Don't you go too far. We can't afford to lose you too." So we just have the same dialogue repeated and the same action. I did enjoy that.
Maybe
another
that's
reason why
it's
got to number one for me. Yeah, so he's going through the jungle. And
Jungle.
as Lord Rain's going through the jungle, he comes across Sandoval, Dr. Sandoval, young Dr. Sandoval, and he pulls out like his knife, and then she picks up a stick, and he's like, the girl fights back. Not only does the girl fight back, but the girl kicks his ass, and when she knocks him down, she says, "Plain possum schmuck."
Oh my god! Oh my god! Is that what that was?
This is my number one movie.
Oh my god!
Now the shark turns up after she's vanquished Lord Raiden. Mummy Shark is peeping through the leaves in the jungle, just floating midair. Still, he's still as can be.
How scary is it? It's only like this big. So.
Yeah, the plant's back, by the way. You know, Mummy Shark's by the plant now.
It never left.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Reed has now, as he's wandered off, he's come across a blown up helicopter, and he's like, "You bastards!" Because he's like special ops, isn't he? And then there's a flying shark attack. The Mummy Shark has now left the jungle. That part of the jungle. He's in this part of the jungle, and Reese is all like, as the Mummy Shark comes for him. And now for some reason, I think because Mummy Shark's been shot again, that means that the Crow / Lord Raiden White Arab MAGA guy, he's dead, and he levitates electrically. Remember that?
Of course.
Yeah, there's electric levitation, but then he appears again in full form in front of Karis, like, "Master, I have failed you." Then he goes away in electric. Oh, but before he goes, I was like, "Master, I have failed you. By the way, your bride is in the cave."
Yeah, your bride is still in the cave.
Yeah. By the way, his bride's in the cave. So then Reed runs back to the jungle and he downs a lot of water. He's really good at collecting water. And now Reese has come across Sandoval, and he's talking about how the shark is getting around, and he's like, "He can get around on land," asked Sandoval, and Reese like, "Of course I can get around on land. They've laid dormant for thousands of years. Evolution." So because the shark has laid dormant for thousands of years, of course, it can walk around and float through the jungle.
That makes sense to me.
And now they decide that you have to go and find Mina, who's still in a trance.
Mia.
But she's only in half a trance now because electric god Raiden has been vanquished, right? And he's failed his master. So now they literally walk past the plant 14 times to get to where they're going, which is in a cave where they find Mina, and they say to her, "You may be in shock." And as they tell her they might be in shock, they get her to her feet. But then all of a sudden, Lord Raiden shows up and he's like, "Thieves!" And then they have a fight. "Thieves, you will not take the bride of Karis." That's what he says to them. And then the shark comes along and he eats the professor. Shark eats professor. That's goodbye to Professor Paddington. Surely you understand. And then then we get another lock on the shark from the military. And Reed is now armed in the jungle like Arnie in Predator. He's walking around the jungle like Arnie. And this missile shot at the shark, but he's still alive. So they get him again. And then the shark teleports electronically,
right,
I think, back to his home planet so that they can't get him properly.
Right,
because there's like that vignette thing again. And there's all these stars and swirly effects. And the shark's like, but he turns electric and goes back to his... He turns back and goes to his land. Now, we are at an undisclosed military hospital, and there's a multiple interrogation going on of both Reed and Sandoval, while Mia lays somewhat comatose in bed, we believe, right? Because she's been under a trance and stuff and been through it with Lord Raiden. Right, so undisclosed military hospital.
Apparently she's also been through it with Karis.
Well, we'll get there in a minute. During this interrogation, of course, the interrogator's like, "You guys on drugs, this sounds like crazy talk to me." He's like, "I knew you wouldn't believe me. You're going to bury this, aren't you?" And of course, that is what they plan to do. So that's like the end of Sandoval's interrogation. Now it's Reed's turn. He's like, "No matter what I tell you, there's no way you believe me. Just promise me, just tell me two things. You won't end young Professor Sandoval's career. No point ending a young woman's career over nothing. Seems unfair. And number two, how's Mia?" And the interrogator's like, "She's alive. That's all I can tell you. But then we're then shown Mia in bed. She's up, she's awake, she's conscious. And the nurse is like to her, do you remember anything? She's like, not really, except, was I in Egypt? Like that. And then the nurse suggests to Mia that she has something to eat. Because, by the way, you are now eating for two. Mia's like, two? That's right. You're pregnant. I can't be pregnant. But then we get an x-ray. And she's been impregnated by Charis, the shark god. And the fetus is right up in her lungs.
So, oh my god, yeah. So this ultrasound, which as you said is actually an x-ray, is just the lungs and then like a little sharky type sac in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, so a nurse at a hospital does an x-ray of your chest, sees some weird life being in there and is like, oh, you're pregnant, congrats.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
What's strange is they've edited this shot into the movie quite a lot and no one decided to bring it up like, oh, do you realise you've put the shark baby into her lungs?
Yeah.
And she's talking to a nurse.
But it kind of just fits with how the quality of the rest of the film.
This is why it's number one. So then the surgeons, they decide to remove the shark from Mina and it ends up in a test tube. It's a test tube now.
Do they?
Yeah,
is it?
There's a bit at the end where they're working on Mina. They take the shark out of her, they put it into a test tube,
right?
And it's starting to grow into a human. It's like a human. There's like a fetus in a test tube, and now we have electrical shark ending. One more time, the shark appears.
Daddy shark
in electrifying form, and we end once again as it opened on Egyptian techno music. A nice bookend. And the music is by Ghost. The Ghost? The Scandi metal rocker? Possibly. Music by Ghost. Mummy Shark, number one for me. Talking of metal, get some metal music montages in your number one movie of the week.
Motherfucking montage.
And my number two, very close to number one. Uwe Boll's spectacular Alone in the Dark.
Now, this was the first film we saw this week. And it's one of those films where there are various parts of it, and I have to keep reminding myself that that's the same film. I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, that's in that one, and wait, and that's in that one. This film is nonsensical.
So you know how they open the film with a voiceover and text running up the screen about the history of the Abkhani? Right, an ancient civilization that 10,000 years ago opened the portal between light and dark, letting through something evil. And by the way, there's a guy called Dr. Hudgens who's been conducting evil experiments. He gets caught, so he goes to an underground gold mine and continues to conduct his experiments on orphans. And in 1971, he then puts together the 713, which is the Bureau's Paranormal Investigation Agency. That's the 713.
Right, you've already informed me of things I did not pick up on, so thank you.
So, once the Abkhani opened the portal, once went back through it, something dark was let through, right? These parasite things. And ever since then, the traces of the Abkhani, they're nowhere, they've vanished, but only artifacts remain which depict these parasite-like creatures that are going to torment our cast and crew. So that's the opening, right? In text and voiceover. Now, this will make you happy. The reason they put that in there is because when this was shown to test audiences, no one had a Scooby what was going on. So they thought, right, let's just explain everything in the opening, 90 seconds? Because it seems to go on forever. It's 90 seconds, but it feels like 5 minutes. So then after we know about the Abkhani and 10,000 years ago and being extinct apart from their artifacts, we're now 22 years ago, right? And there's a boy in the orphanage and he's hiding out in an electrical outlet.
High voltage.
And his hair's on end.
Yeah, I thought he just had a really sick hairstyle, and then you're like, no, he's been electrocuted.
Yeah, right. I think it's Uwe Boll's style of electrocution, because his hair has clearly just been gelled up that way. It's thick with gel, but I think they've got him sitting in an electrical outlet. It's like, right, it's covered in electric. His hair's got to stand on end. Turns out that little orphan, right, 20 orphans go missing. This little orphan is orphan Christian Slater. And now Christian Slater later, he's now on a plane. shooting the breeze of a little kid, and little kid's like, should I be scared of the dark, mister? Christian Slater's like, yeah, boy, I should be scared of the dark because I know the truth about the world. Now he's in a cab.
He's a bit of a party pooper.
Now he's in a cab. And in the front of the cab...
You're really excited by this,
is a stoner guy. And the stoner guy's like, hey, tell me what you do. And he's like, I'm not sure if I want to hear it. Hey, man, that's what became a cab driver. To hear about what people do.
Mm-hmm. And I really enjoy throughout this at 7:13 and thereby Christian Slater...
7:13?
This is like the highest of the high, the epitome of well-trained government agents doing important work.
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah. So now he while he's in the cab, he's being followed.
Grizzled.
He noticed that he's being followed.
Yes.
So then the cab driver decides, hey, I'll just, gun this thing and we'll lose him. But instead they end up crashing. When they crash, Christian Slater gets out of the cab and now he's Kung Fu Christian Slater with Kung Fu score fighting some bald Kung Fu zombie guy.
Yeah.
And everyone's smashing through windows and stuff.
So if you're not following along with the story yet, neither was I.
They're fighting in the market as well, because of course, where do people have Kung Fu? Of course, in open
and
food markets.
And this guy just can't be killed. He won't back down.
No, it's like the Matrix done properly. Okay, everyone's been pulled through windows and stuff like that, right? Now, we've just seen the one and only Christian Slater as Carnaby. Is that his name, Carnaby? Carnby. Now, Tara Reid's here. And she's a doctor. Lord. It's Dr. Tara Reid, and she's an assistant curator at a museum, I guess.
Tara Reid is so confusing to me. Just her career.
American Pie.
Yeah, but she's also in some other teen
Urban Legend.
Yeah, stuff like that. So, in all of those films, I think she's completely watchable, enjoyable, good. Everything she's done since she's become an adult makes me want to cry.
Well, she's in an Uwe Boll film. What do you expect?
But it's also
brilliant.
She's gotten older, but she's refusing to accept that. She's still just acting and...
I would say that the industry is refusing to accept that Tara Reid is now grown.
That's why they've cast her as assistant curator to a museum, because she's a child.
Yeah, and do you know, once Uwe Boll receives criticism for casting Tara Reid, our quintessential party girl in teen movies, as a curator, doctor, he was like, don't worry, I'm going to put her hair up in a bun and give her glasses. And then everyone will know that she's smart.
She will still have trousers trailing around her hips and too long, so she's stepping on the backs of them and walking like a child.
Uwe Boll was also...
She will have glasses on.
He was also disappointed that he had to cast Tara Reid. He's like, I wish I didn't cast Tara Reid because she won't get her breasts out. Even though she has a no nudity clause, I need her to get her breasts out. Now, I wish I could have cast a European actress because they don't care about getting their breasts out. But Tara Reid, we fell out because she wouldn't show them.
When did this movie require breasts?
Well, glad you asked this, because in the version we watched, for some reason, they cut out a sex scene between Christian Slater and Tara Reid to the song 7 Seconds by Nussau Undur. Yeah, you know that one?
Absolutely not.
If there's anything that I need to see, it's a sex scene between Christian Slater, Tara Reid, with Nussau Undur 7 Seconds playing during. We have to get it up on YouTube afterwards.
That sounds horrendous. Also, so...
Did you not see them being kind of closey during the movie?
Yeah, I thought it was obvious that they had some kind of, maybe ex-relationship or... No, they weren't in relationship, because at the beginning... Tara Reid let slip to one of the security guys or something oh yeah, my boyfriend's been missing for 6 months or something, and then it turns out it's Christian Slater and he's just rocked up again, and she's like, oh my god, how could you do this to me? And I was like, yeah, to be fair, that's a bit of a dick move, but he's all grizzled and he's 713, so he's like, yeah,
713.
I was looking for some stuff in wherever I was, and I fell in with some something.
Look, this is an Uwe Boll film, so you're missing out important details, right? So after we introduced the idiot security guard, I believe his name is Sam. Great performance, by the way.
All right, chickpea.
We then see Dr. Hudgens, who we've been introduced to during the text, the guy that's been committing these savage experiments on orphans in a gold mine. He now shows up, and he is the first instance of absolutely atrocious ADR.
Wait, is he the dude who was on the boat?
Yeah, I had him down as sailor at first.
So he's
that's
like
Dr. Hudgens.
the curator.
It's Dr. Hudgens, yeah.
Yeah, and Tara Reid works.
Assistant curator.
Yeah.
As you mentioned him, Sailor Hudgens, as you had him, because he's on a boat. He's there with like a crew, isn't he? And at the same time, we're being shown Christian Slater like in his apartment or his house or something. At the same time, he's got an voicemail from a guy called John, right? And John's like, I've been having the nightmares again. Bring back old memories. Think we could catch up. Then we're back to Dr. Hudgens. And on the boat, where these artifacts are, he's been double-crossed by a man who looks like an Afghan hound.
So,
you know the dogs with the really long ears? Do you remember Afghan hound man?
No. I know the character, but I don't remember him looking like a dog. But it's the professor, Sailor Professor, has discovered some big Abkhani secret, and that's what they've just taken out of the water. And the box itself is made of pure gold. So Dog Sailor has gotten a bit greedy.
Afghan hound,
and he's like, well, you know, this is pure gold. What's inside it? And of course, Professor's like something even more valuable.
So instead of having a bit of Barney, Hudgens locks himself away. As he comes out, the crew have been slaughtered.
They lock him away because they're like, oh, we're going to lock you away and we're going to take the box and what's in it. And
Either way,
like,
he's locked away. He's locked away. When he released himself, they've been slaughtered.
Because they opened the box.
And then he takes the artifact. In between this, we've seen Christian Slater and Tara Reid in the lab looking at science stuff as well. But then, whoa! Christian Slater, Tara Reid, Uwe Boll, enter Stephen Dorff into proceedings. And Stephen Dorff is a hotshot at Paranormal Investigative Agency 713, where Christian Slater, Carnby, previously worked. He was a good agent.
Everyone who is 713 is really full of themselves. Can I just mention that now?
As you can imagine.
Whereas apparently you only have to be like 20 years old and uneducated to be...
No. We'll get to that. We will get to that. And I'll school you on what's really going on.
You don't know.
This is an Uwe Boll film,
you
okay?
Don't know.
Right, so now we've been introduced to Stephen Dorff. He's a big shot at 713. And he's walking down some stairs, right? In the big screen TV rooms. Because there's all these futuristic screens around. And while he's been given the info, he walks up another pair of set of stairs. Gets behind someone sitting in a chair looking at the futuristic screen. Gets shown some evidence. And he remarks, Jesus Christ.
I'm really glad you mentioned 2 sets of stairs.
Then it cuts.
That was vital.
Because he has to walk down this building and then walk a little bit and then back up again. It seems kind of pointless.
However, now that you mention again this futuristic stuff, I have to mention that Tara Reid, in her role, also has access to some very high-tech equipment. She has like a little wand that she scans artifacts with, and then it comes up like a 3D program.
Image.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So, I've mentioned John who left a voicemail at Christian Slater, so he's been having nightmares again. We now see John get up at night, leave his house in his pyjamas and his slippers, and he just, with intent, just keeps walking. So Slater, Christian Slater, Carnby, he now goes back to the orphanage where he was hiding out in the electrical outlet when the other 20 orphans went missing. And he meets up with a nun who he knows, right, hugs her, and he confides in her that John is disappeared and it's happening again. It's all happening again. So now
what
Christian,
did that mean?
So
what's
now Christian Slater,
again?
well, what's happening again is orphans are going missing. So what's going to happen is Christian Slater is going to put it on himself to go and find these 19 missing orphans because he's obviously one of the 20. Yeah?
Right.
I should also mention, of course, now that we've got
another set of stairs.
Now that we've got Carnby, Christian Slater, and Stephen Dorff, there are going to be a couple of heavyweight scenes which I'll go through when we get there.
I did not enjoy.
Before we get to one of the first heavyweight scenes between Stephen Dorff and Christian Slater, we've mentioned, right, that Christian Slater was previously in 713.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's sitting there in his apartment again, and he's like, I was recruited when I was 20. So that's what you're referring to. He was recruited when he was 20. You're saying he's only got to like A-level status at that point.
High school. He's
I'm
graduated
saying,
high school.
But I'm saying he's so smart that he's been airlifted out of education to join the paranormal investigative agency that is 713 at the tender age of 20. And like I say, the voiceover...
The reason he's an X, by the way, 713, is because he was trying to research all this Abkhani stuff, and every time he got close, they were, like, shutting it down. He's like, I realised I would never learn more about the Abkhani.
If you would let me perform the voiceover, then we'd find out about this.
What, the 90-second one?
Right. He's Christian Slater. He's at home, and voiceover starts. The camera's panning over buildings and sky. I was recruited to the agency when I was 20. I was a good agent. I learned everything I could about the paranormal. But every time I got close to the truth or discovered another Abkhani artifact, it would be classified. Yeah? Now the camera's panned over these buildings and it's sat down to where Christian Slater as Carnby is sitting at a cafe and a suited man is approaching. Suited man approaches Carnby and says, "What the hell am I doing here?
Come on. It's a beautiful day. I ordered your favourite.
Pecan,
right?"
Yeah, Christian Slater's laying it out there. So then, of course...
And he loves it, the suited man. He's like...
Suited man...
Great memory.
Whose name is Fish.
Fish!
Yeah, so he's like, come on, Fish, it's a beautiful day. Have some pecan. He sits down, he looks at his pecan drink, and he's like, you got a good memory, Carnby. And then Carnby's like, saw it in the details.
That's how he got scouted at 20. Because he's detail-oriented with good memory.
There you have it.
He's
all about the details and a great memory.
He also leaves Fish to enjoy his pecans on his own.
No, you're doing it again. You're doing it again. Remember in the review for Paranormal Island, I said I'm a man of details, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's very important that we get to the details of this meeting between Fish and Carnby, right? So, as we know, 20 orphans have gone missing. Christian Slater's not gone missing because he hid out in an electrical outlet, right? Then he got electrocuted a little bit. When Fish is having this meeting with Carnby, he pulls out some files. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And he hands Christian Slater the files. First of all, these files, a few of them, 3 of the 5, are definitely actors' headshots. So the FBI have got these members of the public's profiles. They're definitely actors' headshots. Now, on these profiles, beneath the headshots, you have the topics. Is that right? Sex, height, weight, build, complexion. Okay? You go through the first one.
Spotty.
Go through the first one. Description, male, 6 foot. Right? Weight, whatever pounds. Build, medium. Complexion, olive. We go into the second one, all the same thing, except for complexion, brown. Third person, complexion, light. Fourth person, complexion, medium. What the hell does that mean? Olive-skinned, white, Caucasian, medium.
Brown.
Someone in the art department or whatever is printing out these things, and where they're supposed to put build medium, they've put build medium, complexion medium. Because what is a large complexion then? Because it'd be small complexion, medium complexion, large complexion. This person is a white person. They have medium complexion.
I don't think anyone was expecting viewers to pause at this point. But that's,
I didn't pause. I saw it as Christian Slater. Carnby was flicking through. Right?
Also kind of suits a Uwe Boll movie, doesn't it, really?
It does. Both the posters and the details on the posters.
How is Uwe Boll making
movies? Does that mean kind of that if you're really pale, you have a small complexion, and if you're black, then you have a large complexion? Because medium complexion is...
Maybe it's the other way around. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? We'll have to ask Uwe Boll, or maybe ask the 713. Anyway, when Christian Slater Carnby...
Oh my god, do they exist?
When he's handed... Well, we'll never know. Unless you're part of it. Once he's handed these files and he flips through them, Fish is like, think that's a coincidence? They all went missing from the same place you went missing. Then he leans forward and says, what's going on here, Carnby? And Christian Slater's like, I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. Thanks, Fish. It's nice to know I still got friends at the 713.
Heavy hitting.
Scene. End scene. We have mentioned Tara Reid, by the way, but we haven't mentioned, and we've also mentioned Christian Slater.
We have.
But we haven't mentioned that Christian Slater and Tara Reid know each other. You briefly mentioned it.
Of course we did.
No, it hasn't happened yet.
I did mention it. I said...
I know you mentioned it. I said you mentioned it. Yeah, you went too far ahead again, because now the slap comes after the fish meeting.
Oh, dear Lord.
So he's shown up, and first of all, she hugs him.
Are you saying, okay, so if that's the order it happens in, then not only did he bugger off for however many months and fell in with some, like, ex-cons or something in Swahili, I don't know...
Swahili's a language.
Yeah, I know. But he's then decided to come back to the city they're in and go meet Fish before letting his girlfriend know, hey, I'm not only, alive, I'm here.
Well, you've got to ask yourself, is it business first or relationships first? And when you're part of the 17 or have been part of the 713 and you're an orphan who's in an electrical outlet and you've put it on yourself to go and hunt down these missing orphans, because it's happening again, by the way, because John's voicemail and stuff, you've got to pick your duty over relationships at that point.
Could have at least given her a call whilst he was waiting for Fish. He had
Maybe.
time to order Fish's favourite pecan dish, but he couldn't call his girlfriend after like 6 months.
Is it uncouth to just, come back after all his time and just with a phone call?
Well, I think it's more uncouth to go for coffee with some old colleagues.
Well, Fish. It's good to know that he's got friends at the 713. So anyway, Christian Slater walks back into Tara Reid's life, gets a hug and then an instant slap. Like, where the hell have you been? I thought you were dead. And she's like, why the hell should I listen to you? So what does he do? He pulls out an artifact. Because in this movie, when you pull out an artifact, it stops everybody dead in their tracks and they have to listen to you.
It's, her greatest passion. She's assistant curator, so
Tara
if he has
Reid.
an artifact, she's going to forgive him anything.
Yeah, so once he shows her the artifact...
Plus they're meant to be, because she has like a fitting artifact that goes with it. Did you like that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They slot together.
Once they've had their reconciliation, they go to the museum where inept security guard Rob, he's noticed something is running around in the darkness, much like the relic with Tom Sizemore. Eventually he gets caught up to by this parasite thing and comes behind him and crushes his ribs and his face.
Yeah, calling it parasite, it makes it seem like it's small. It's a big thing. It is like parasite. The relic, isn't it?
Not as good as the relic.
No, not as good as the relic, but a creature nonetheless, a big one.
It then inadvisedly decides to attack Carnby and Tara Reid, and they manage to shoot at it through a hole.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
And then a SWAT team busts in through the glass roof, much like the relic as well. And after that, we are now introduced to heavyweight scene number 1 between Stephen Dorff and Christian Slater. So they've evaded the danger of the giant parasite relic thing. So now Christian Slater, Carnby, and Tara Reid are walking towards the exit, but through what would be their entrance comes Stephen Dorff with his friend Paco or Marco, and he's like
Paco, Marco,
something O. Stephen Dorff walks towards Christian Slater, he sees him, he's like, what the hell are you doing here, Carnby? And he's like, Christian Slater's like, nice to see you too, Stephen Dorff. Stephen Dorff's like, this is my area, I'm taking care of this. And the Christian Slater's like, I can see you got everything you need right here. And then there's my favourite bit when Stephen Dorff replies, was the time you could look after yourself there, Carnby? What's the matter, you gone soft? Oh!
Yeah, but Carnby is told in no uncertain words, you're not 713 anymore.
Yeah, Carnby's like, I'm here because I want to know what the hell those things are running around which I just escaped from. I want to know what 713 knows.
None of your business.
You're not 713 anymore, Carnby. It's none of your freaking business. I'll see you later. Take him out, Marco. And then he does swear. He drops the F-bomb, Stephen Dorff does. After this heated coming together, Christian Slater, Carnby, he loses it, grabs hold of Stephen Dorff with a little bit of fisticuffs.
Yeah.
But they're pulled apart and Carnby's like, alright.
They both look like they're very small, by the way.
They are very small people.
Right.
Yeah. You would tower over them.
Just hold them apart.
Yeah. As they are pulled apart, Stephen Dorff's like, you keep walking. Little does he know, though.
Good stuff.
Or does he know that Christian Slater has he's pocketed Stephen Dorff's identification card.
Of course, because then he walks me like, thanks, Stephen.
Yeah, man.
Because he's got what he wanted.
So now that we've had Dorf Slater heavyweight scene number 1, it was a time you could look after yourself there, Kirby. What's the matter? You gone soft?
You keep saying there was a time you could look after yourself.
I got a really big tongue.
All right, now's not the time to show off.
Now that we've had his heavyweight scene, Christian Slater decides he needs to go to the morgue. And as he walks into the morgue, Fish is there working on a dead guy. And the first thing out of anyone's mouth is Fish saying, "You shouldn't be here, Carnby." Because Christian Slater can't walk into a scene without his character's name being said.
You could probably have a great drinking game, just shot every time Carnby is said.
Mentioned, yeah. So Fish is working.
And if you want to get really slozzled, then add another shot for every time 713 is mentioned.
Sozzled, not slozzled. So...
Slizzled.
Fish is working on this dead body, and wouldn't you know it, it's the bald kung fu zombie guy that attacked Christian Slater
back.
In the kung fu scene in the market at the beginning. And it turns out that he's also X-713, and he's been MIA for the past 20 years, and his records are still classified. Mm-hmm. Plus, there's something fused to his spinal cord,
which was
a little parasite thing. Let's wait. A little parasite thing. Turns out, who's got one in him too?
What are we waiting for? What did you think I was going to say? Because I was going to say that it's been shot, so it's been severed. That's all I was going to say, Johnny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The parasite that you just mentioned.
Parasite, which is fused to his spinal cord.
Yes, and it's been chopped in half, which is why he's now no longer. Because, you know, this was the guy that was impossible to take down. But
I mentioned that.
Parasite's been split in half.
Now, it turns out who's got a parasite in him?
Yes, Christian Slater.
Christian Slater! And he decides not to have it removed because he likes it.
He is actually smart because he's like, oh, my one must have been affected by the electrocution I suffered when I ran away.
Because it was also mentioned, as Christian Slater Carnby's been found in an electrical outlet, when he walks into rooms now, the electrics...
I don't think that's what it is.
The electrics
No, there's mentioned
go funny, and the light and the dark from the Abkhani parasite things also cause to go mental.
No, there's some mention made that the presence of the like Abkhani power or whatever messes with the electrics. It's not that he's
got a parasite in him,
like Electro Boy or something.
But he's been in an electrical outlet, so he's been electrocuted,
which killed the thingy.
I think you've missed that also Christian Slater controls electric.
No.
He's a bit like Lord Raiden in Mummy Shot.
Have they mentioned more about this parasite thing yet? Can I say anything more now? Am I allowed?
Whoa.
Please, sir.
You do just keep interrupting, so I don't know why you're asking for permission now.
Okay. So these parasite things, if I've understood correctly, because this film made no sense.
I just explained it to you.
These parasite things were put into these 20 orphans.
By Hudgens.
When they were 10 years old or whatever. And it was so that... Okay, I still don't understand this. I'm going to half explain and half ask you.
If you don't understand, then you could just leave it to me. They are
supposed to be some kind of soldier thing that comes into effect should the evil be released. And therefore they have superhuman powers... but they lose their humanity.
Absolutely. And at this time...
But are they supposed to fight the evil or fight for the evil?
They are the evil.
But what are the creatures then?
Surely you understand.
What are the creatures then? Is that not the evil?
Hudgens has some jailed creatures which he's been injecting.
Yeah, what the hell was this as well?
And then he shoots up as well.
Hudgens just shoves this big pokey stick in, takes some of his blood and shoots up, and he's obviously been doing it. So
yeah.
Does he control the people with the things in them?
He is in control of everyone because he's got the power of the Abkhani with his artifacts.
Because I thought the whole point of, putting these parasites in people was so that if the evil from the, evil place get loosed, then these
the dark
parasite
place, the place between the dark and the light.
Parasite people would be able to save everyone.
No, they'd cause mayhem.
So there's
and rule the earth.
Saving. So no one's the good one then.
No, Hudgens thinks they're good because he wants them on his side so he can take over the world. Right, so now, even though we've been explained...
now that that's obvious.
...by Fish that this guy in the morgue is 713, and we know who the character is, we now have a voiceover from Christian Slater saying, "The Carney artifact I found in Chile. That's what the Kung Fu guy who tried to kill me was after. He was driven by some force that controls the creatures. The Xenus at the museum were after the same thing. It can't be a coincidence that John and the others have gone missing. I'm close to the truth. I know it." So he's got it sussed.
Is this also when they realised that, like, the 4 pieces of the artifact were buried in 4 different places, and they're like, at that point in time, that would have been like the edges of the earth.
Of the world.
I don't understand. If you want a puzzle to be solved, why hide it so far away?
That's why, Chile's one of the far reaches of the earth, because Christian Slater's artifact was found in Chile.
Chile.
So that's what they're saying about Chile. What about the Xenus at the museum? What about that?
The what?
The Xenus at the museum, right? And they are after the same thing. It's no coincidence that John went missing at the same time, right? Christian Slater Carnby says he's close to the truth. He can feel it, right? He's got it sussed. Now, back at Paranormal Agency 713 headquarters, Stephen Dorff needs the intel on Carnby on the hush-hush, and he needs to get it from Fish because he's found out that Fish met up with Carnby for that pecan drink, right? When he handed him the files. And he's like, "I heard you've been hanging out with Carnby. Why?" Fish is like, "I trust him." And Stephen Dorff's like, "Yeah, well, you need to trust me. Go to a ball game, get some pizza." Yeah?
Yeah. Sounds good.
So when he's laid it down in no uncertain terms that Stephen Dorff needs to trust...
You gotta go to a ball game and have some pizza.
Fish then goes home, and his wife has been offed. So he walks into the room where she's laying on the floor, and out comes Hudgens, strangles Fish, puts a parasite into his mouth, and then says, "You're one of us now, boy." So that happened.
Naughty, naughty professor.
Dr. Hudgens then appears in his office where Tara Reid is looking at the artifact on the computer screen. And he's like,
"I'm going to need that."
"Yeah, you don't look any further into that. I'll deal with this artifact thing on the screen now. Not you, Tara, Dr. Tara."
But she's not happy about that. This is my artifact.
Then we get more scenes of Carnby and Tara Reid talking science at a computer. And Carnby decides to go for a walk, and he comes across Zombie John. John, who's left him a voicemail. John, who's complained to the nun at the orphanage
left his
about
wife in the middle of the night
in his slippers. Yeah, so he means business. And then he comes at Carnby. He ends him. Then the heavy metal music starts, and we got Tara Reid, Carnby, and the SWAT team having a giant shootout with the parasites.
713 has provided everyone with the one known metal that can kill these creatures, which is silver bullets.
So it's like a werewolf.
So again, we've got like the whole James Bond spy thing where Carnby is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need loads of those." So he's like got the guns and all the ammo and stuff, and they're like, "Boom, boom, 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 boom." And this is full Uwe Boll moment here.
We've seen it in House of the Dead. You've seen it in all of Uwe Boll movies. Just either hardcore techno or heavy metal, and just everyone just shooting at each other
in slow-mo.
Slow-mo, yeah. People.
All of that good
also,
stuff.
There's kung fu.
Yeah.
And we get to see a bullet leave the chamber and come out and fly towards the person that it's going to hit.
I never knew before this movie that if you study paranormal stuff, you also need to learn how to shoot weapons.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing that was incredible that they do?
Everything they do is incredible.
Yeah, I never knew. 713, man.
While all this shoot 'em up is going on, they've kind of got it handled, and who shows up? Stephen Dorff. Stephen Dorff is back. And it's time for heavyweight scene number 2 between Stephen Dorff and Christian Slater. Of course, Dorff walks in. He's armed. Slater is armed, standing next to Tara.
Dorff like one of those westerns.
Dorff once again is like, "Carnby, put down your weapon." And he's like, "Good to see you too, Stephen Dorff." And he's like, I told you to drop your weapon." And then Christian Slater, the Carnby, is like, "Oh, come on. What's the first thing they teach you in 713, huh? Trust your instincts. You really think I'm one of those things?" And Stephen Dorff thinks for a second. "I said, put down your fucking weapon." But then another parasite breakout happens, and they have to shoot him again.
And
Christian Slater runs off.
Slater saves Dorff, though.
Yes, after he runs off, Stephen Dorff turns to where Carnby previously was. He's like, I'll catch back up to him. Later on, the attack's happening. A zombie walks up towards Stephen Dorff.
Zombies.
And then Carnby's like, hey, Stephen Dorff. Stephen Dorff looks over to Carnby. Carnby takes out the zombie. Then Carnby and Stephen Dorff lock eyes for like 2 seconds because now there's going to be a bit of a thawing of relations between the two.
We know this means that they're actually going to be best buds.
Yeah.
Because, hate is just another expression of love.
There's continuation of kung fu and bullets going astray everywhere. So we've got gunfight versus zombies plus kung fu.
Zombie.
Once this now all comes to a head, this now heavy metal montage, Stephen Dorff walks up to Tara Reid and Carnby again, and he's like, can one of you tell me what the hell is going on here? And he's like, Hudgens and Fish are missing. I got a feeling this is just the beginning. Oh, and Carnby, I need my ID back. From the first heavyweight scene, when we mentioned
Stephen Dorff.
Stephen Dorff's about to walk off, and
Carnby,
he's
I
like,
need
Carnby, I need that ID back.
And it's like a smirk, like,
yeah.
I took that from you, but we're both smart.
Yeah.
We're smart.
What do you think about that? What do you think about the heavyweight scenes?
I didn't enjoy any performances in this film. Actually, I didn't enjoy any performances in this film.
I enjoyed them all.
I found them all very irritating.
Do you think it was a smart
Very
move that this film was in 2002? So coming out of the 90s, even the late 90s, Christian Slater's still pretty big, Stephen Dorff's still pretty big, come off the back of Blade and stuff like that. They decided that they had a couple of lulls in their movie choices, that they were going to use this as their comeback vehicle.
Those poor guys, they didn't know what was hitting them. Have they not seen an Uwe Boll movie before?
Who knows if they even got the time to sit
Uwe
down.
Boll manages. He's got an extremely unique ability to make anyone look
entertained.
Shit. Yeah.
Entertained. Now that Dorff has been filled in, or Chris has been filled in about what's been going on here, Hudgens and the other one are missing. There's now choppers in the background. Brrr, and Dorff is having a walk and talk with a guy who's just got off of a helicopter, who's filling him in all the information. He's like, guy, Stephen Dorff, we got every single man available out there for you. And Stephen Dorff's like, no, I need more, man.
I need more.
I need more, man.
It's like, Oliver, please,
He's like,
sir.
how'd you see what's going on out there? I need more, man. So now it's official that Dorff and Slater team up, and there are tanks. There are tanks and stuff. Meanwhile, Dr. Hudgens is overseeing the release of several CGI giant relic parasites. Then there's another gunfight.
He's releasing stuff. Have we even gotten to the cave yet?
No, we're now getting to the case. So
I'm so confused.
He's now releasing. Arthur Stephen Dorff says, I need more men. Right, it's releasing these things. There's another gunfight, and we go from the gunfight to Christian Slater, Carnby, Stephen Dorff, and Tara Reid in a cave. Tara's down there. She is an assistant curator. There's hieroglyphics. So, of course, they asked Tara Reid, what does that hieroglyphic say? And it says, once you make it down here alive, you're already dead.
Sick one.
What does that mean?
It means nothing. It's total bollocks. That's so shit. Once you're down here, you're already dead.
I thought it was cool.
It,
So we had that bit, and now we don't kind of switch back to a bit of SWAT drama. There's like this girl from the SWAT team, and meanwhile,
there's this girl from the SWAT team. That's the end of that thought.
No, I'm going to get back to her.
Okay.
There's a girl from the SWAT team who's with the guy from the SWAT team, who's in walking and talking with Stephen Dorff about more men. So we've got two SWAT people. There's a bit of SWAT drama, right? Then we've got splitting up between Stephen Dorff and Christian Slater for a little while. Mum's like, I'll stay here, watch your back. So now it's definitely thawed because now they've got each other's back, right? But the SWAT guy, his arm is then severed by the creature, and he really gets to die. He's like,
I bet he slept well after filming that 20 times.
Yeah. So he's gone, and then SWAT girl has her head split in half.
Oh yeah.
And while she's got her head split in half, the walkie-talkie SWAT guy is looking at her, and also behind him, alien moment, a xenomorph style thing made of CGI with giant sharp teeth opens its face at him while he turns around.
Yeah.
Yes. And while this is happening, because obviously there's SWAT people, Stephen Dorff is in charge of the SWAT people.
My people.
So then we cut, and he's like, God damn it, my guys are dying out there for nothing, God damn it! And then he smashes the place up.
Because he's just found out that 713
713.
has been behind it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They created what they're now fighting. And he's like, God damn it, my men are dying for no reason because 713 made a mess and now we can't clean it up. And in the meantime, like I said earlier, the slotting together artifacts that our lovebirds found. Turns out they're kind of like a key to a sliding
I'll
portal
take it from
door.
here because have we mentioned when Stephen Dorff finds like a bed with his name on it? And that's at the same time as when Stephen Dorff is going mental about his men dying. Him and Christian Slater have found beds with his name in it, and then, like you said, it was like, yeah, it's 713 this whole time.
Yeah, so
and my whole life has been a lie.
That's where the orphans were taken for the implantation.
Then once they get to this place where you mentioned where they have this combining artifacts, it's this door which has been shut for ages. But Christian Slater Carnby is with Stephen Dorff, obviously, and Tara Reid at this door. And Carmen's like, my entire life is behind this door. Tara Reid says, some doors are meant to stay shut. And Carmen's like, you're right. The Abkhani were right. I can't be opening this door. But then BAM!
Oh my God.
Out comes...
I'm going to be deafened by the end of this episode.
Professor Hudgens, armed and dangerous. Like, I spent 20 years of my life looking for this key. And he threatens them pretty much. And he's about to blow them away to get the key. Carnby then says, just give him the keys. There's been enough killing today. Fair enough, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very noble of him.
It is very noble. But then he is looking for this key. So now, but then Stephen Dorff throws a knife.
Psychs him.
Throws a knife at Hudgens, gets him, but all of a sudden the door opens anyway.
Yeah, because Hudgens, it was all kind of in the door already by the time he knifed him, so it's like a slip of the wrist and now, oh shit, the doors to hell essentially have been opened.
So now the door's open. It's like the Matrix 2, whatever that was called.
So
or 3.
The three of them step into this cave and it's like a, honeycombed stalagmites and tights and massive cave system, and out of all these little honeycomb holes are crawling those massive parasite monster things. And I was like, wouldn't you be spending this time trying to look for a way to close the door? Because they don't even bother seeing if like, oh, let's turn it this way and it'll go down again. Then everything's cool.
What is good though is when they do step into this hell world, like you say, they literally have to step over like a little ledge where the door's left. They take a look for a little bit, and Stephen Dorff is like, let's just back out nice and easy. And they just take 2 steps back, and then they're back out, and then you can just close the door. And
they don't.
They don't close the door, but they decide to run away.
Yeah.
Right, so as they're running away, they escape into an underground lab. But then halfway through, Stephen Dorff was like, "You guys get out of here! I gotta go back and shut the door."
Stephen Dorff had left a bunch of like
a duffel
explosives.
Bag. He left a duffel bag in the portal to hell.
Because the explosives to the portal to hell are going to help you with this cavernous system full of creatures.
Yeah, he's got to set off the detonators.
He's gone too far. He's lost contract with it, and that's why he has to go back. The Bluetooths.
Once he decides to run back, of course, ill-advisedly, according to Carnby, he's like, no, just come with us. But Stephen Dorff's a hero. He's like top of the ladder at 713 almost. So of course he's going to go back and get his duffel bag filled with detonators. And what he does is he turns up and he's like, brrr,
at nothing.
Gets his bag, turns around, runs a little bit, but then turns around, brrr, brrr, shoots at the open portal again. As he's leaving,
again, he said to the others, "I'm going back because I've lost, like the connection, so I can't detonate." So why has he gone so far, picked it up and everything? Surely the detonation would have worked from.
No, like I said, the Bluetooth didn't work. So now that Dorff has retrieved the duffel bag from hell, he pumps off some rounds. Carnby and Tara Reid now emerge into a garden. It turns out it's the orphanage where he was an electrical outlet at the beginning. They go into the house, and unfortunately the nun has passed away. She's gone. There's a giant explosion which happens in the hatch where they just come out of. Luckily for them, Stephen Dorff has survived the giant explosion, even though he was in the room.
It's one of those explosions where you see this like huge ball of explosive flame travelling through all sorts of corridors, up vents, exploding into the air. And yet Stephen Dorff It's not even just a little bit charred.
Well, he's probably learned everything he can about the paranormal from being at 713. He's a good agent, much like Carnby. What's going on here, Carnby? So now everyone's survived, but hang on, it's 8:45 a.m. The cities have been evacuated, right? Not Stephen Dorff, Carnby and Tara Reid are out on these empty streets. He's walking around in like a rain mac or whatever, trench coat. And then there's like a voiceover once again while Tara Reid and Christian Slater just look aimlessly out at what I suppose is Los Angeles or probably British Columbia in Canada where it's cheap to shoot. It's 8:45. The world has been evacuated. And they're walking around an empty street. And of course, the voiceover goes something like, at 8:35, the gate was closed. And the worlds between the light and the dark were shut off. Who knows what is going to happen to the Abkarni? But what I do know is they were right. Now it's happening again. There's always a price to pay for opening the portal.
Yeah, I think they were suggesting that these creatures are obviously running rampant. Mm-hmm. And
like they were 10,000 years ago when the Abkarni opened the portal.
Humanity.
They are, because as they're walking away, we think it's over, but then Christian Slater Carnby turns around to the camera and there's this thing attacking him.
And also the Abkarni got wiped out. We know that now, don't we?
Yeah, so Christian Slater knows it now because he found out everything that he could about the paranormal when he was at the 713.
Also, when they're like, oh yeah, so the city's been evacuated, I was like, well, but they're right there.
Well, they just come out
and
the hatch.
And they don't seem to have any clue what's going on.
But they just come out. They didn't seem to have any clue what was going on during the production of the film.
How would anyone know to evacuate the city before they've come out the hatch? Who would have told them?
It's actually not Christian Slater on his voiceover. It says it's 8:45 and the city's been evacuated. It just says it in text on the screen. So even Christian Slater and Tara Reid don't know that the city's been evacuated.
This movie makes no sense.
No, what happened is 10,000 years ago, the Abkarni opened the portal between the worlds of light and darkness, and then something evil came through. The Abkarni were wiped out apart from their artifacts. Years later,
to lock itself
it's
back
happening
up.
Again, and Hudgens is creating his own race of like Abkarni mutant things that wiped out the Abkarni. And every time Christian Slater got close to the truth, everything was classified, so that's why he needs to go beyond the door to see what was happening. The place has been evacuated. He knew that the Abkarni were right. He shouldn't have opened the door in the first place. The end. You know, it's sad because Carnby, every time he got close to the truth, it was taken away from him by 713. Do you think now Stephen Dorff's going to be more aware of 713 now that he knows all this crap's gone down previously?
Well, surely 713 is going to be moot because the whole world is going to be destroyed by monsters.
713 even got to survive back when Hudgens was being persecuted for conducting his experiments on poor little orphans.
I thought you were going to tell me now that 713 was around when the Abkarni were.
Did you like that he reconvened an underground gold mine? Because where else would you go to take orphans and conduct your experiments?
Well, like I said, that none of that was apparent to me. So
this movie cost $22 million. Made 11. I reckon the Dorff and Slater have been paid quite handsomely for this film. Rightly so. Have you seen any more heavyweight scenes than that recently? Do you like Christian Slater and Stephen Dorff?
Not in this.
Not in this?
No.
This might be one of my favourites of theirs. I mean, to see them together is just electrifying. Much like Lord Raiden in Mummy Shock. There is an Alone in the Dark 2. Looking forward to seeing that. Unfortunately, it's not directed by Uwe Boll, but it does star Lance Henriksen, star of Paranormal Island, and Bill Moseley. So that's pretty good.
What?
Yeah, Alone in the Dark 2. Definitely check that out.
So is this going to be like a 28 Days Later thing, but with monsters instead of zombies?
Well, I guess you'll just have to wait and see, won't you? But it's going to be great.